When you feel like giving up, don't. When you thinking about giving up, don't. When it look like you ain't gonna make it, keep going. When they tell you you can't, come on, man, who are they? When they tell you you're not gonna make it, don't believe them, man. Don't believe them. You got to be relentless.
The harder the battle, the sweeter the victory. See, what you become in the process is more important than the That's far more important. The kind of person you become, the character that you build, the courage that you develop, the faith that you're manifesting. Oh, it's just something that you get up in the morning, you look yourself in the mirror, you're a different kind of person. You walk with a different kind of spirit. And people know that you know what life is, that you have embraced life. You knew it was hard, but you did it hard.
It's Hoggy, and this is Open Soul Surgery, where we dig deep, deep to get to the root of the problem to make you the best version of you. And we're going to talk about strength. It ain't only what you can do, it's what you can get through. Because a lot of times people see cars and pictures on Instagram and say like, oh, this nigga did this and that, like, oh, he don't know what real work is and this and that. Because you only see the wins. You didn't see the trenches I've been in, the nights I stayed up fighting with my sins. You just see the wins. You don't see the losses I took then just to bounce back. Now you see the champion. Because, man, that's for real. Most times motherfuckers just see the wins and they want to judge off of that. You don't know how hard I had to fight. You know what I mean? And motherfuckers always talk about, oh, I got smoke for niggas. I got that strap. Like, for real, the strongest people walk away. Real talk, like the strongest people know the battles they should and shouldn't fight because they know it's more to live for than to die for. You know what I mean? You saying there's too many people dependent on me for me to allow you to get me out my hookup. You know what I mean? If I know you acting ignorant, I'm out the way. I'm out the way. I got family to feed. In my situation, I am all they got to depend on. On the outside looking in, people only can see what you show them. So if you coming out flashing, you got all you can show is what you have, this and that, like you give people a certain impression. Now, when it comes to strength, like how do you deal with them opinions? How do you deal when life gets on you? Like, so I go to the gym. I'm a gym shark. I'm there every day. Get money. You know what I mean? So, of course, in physical sense, you would say like, oh, this dude probably strong. Like, you know what I mean? I don't have a bad physique. I mean, I put in work. But I learned a lot, man, mentally and spiritually from going to the gym. It taught me so much more about strength. Excuse me. There's a lot of strong people out there who can lift massive amounts of weight, but they can't deal with life when it gets on top of them. Like, so I spot you. And a lot of times when you get spotted, people get spotted. As soon as they get hard, they want you to just grab it and rack it up for them. Like, oh shit, it's heavy. Get it. But that's not what a spotter there for. Think of it like life. When that weight get on you, you can allow it to sit there and constantly just weigh on you and let the damage be done, or you can get up off you. Now you got help. Like everybody got help. You got to know when and how to ask for it. You know what I mean? And the person helping got to know how to give that help too. And on both sides, that's a strength in itself. The ability to say, I'm gonna fight until I can't fight anymore. And also on the other side, they have the ability to say, I'm gonna allow you to fight until I see there's no other option. I have to help you. You know what I mean? We get so caught up on trying to be there for every little thing that we don't allow the person to build and gain the lessons they're supposed to gain from the things that they're going through. Like, because there's so many different types of strength, and there's so many different type of problems. We all go through our own things, and so because of that, we have different uh, motivations or determinations for certain things. Like some people will fight for their family more based off of how they pass, and some people fight for the outside relationships more based off of the relationship they had in their family. So it's not no one way to say like this one person is the strongest person overall in the world. Like everybody has their aspect or their area of strength that they're more adept at. They're more like they seem to be above the average in most things. And like we have like physical strength. Like I like physical strength because it's the one thing like you get out what you put in. And most things are like that. But in the gym you can't like lie about it. Like the gym will expose you faster than most of the other strengths. Like gym will expose like, oh, I put in that work. Okay, when you get in there, people gonna want to see that work. You know what I mean? Mental strength, like mental strength, is not like intelligence. Like it's not being able to say like, oh, I can learn this and that. Like it's being able to look deep. Because a lot of times we go through all of these things and we're not taking the time to look deep, do the shadow work, do some friction work. And I call it friction work because it's not going to be easy. It's not easy to come and say like, oh shit, this is the reason why I'm fucked up in this situation or why I did this the wrong way or just to say unfavorable way. Um, Emotional strength, I think it's one of the ones we kind of losing in this day and age because everybody seems to want their emotions validated. Like, why do I have to validate everyone's emotions? You know what I mean? I understand we all have them. I think we all feel them. But we don't all have to have agreements on everything. All these people saying like, but I want to be felt, but he abused me or he I don't want to say abused, but he assaulted me or he or she uh disrespected me or they were thinking of my feelings, they hurt my feelings, they were sensitive enough to what I'm going through. Why do they need to be? Aren't you the one going through the life? If I got a saying like if what you do don't affect my bills or my children, I don't care. Not one bit. I I'm talking about on the highest level of no fucks given. That's where I'm at when it comes to like people and their opinions and how they feel about the things that I go through and the things how I go through them. Because a lot of times you put on my size 13s, you may get your foot in them, but them bitches won't fit. You can try all you want, but you may not be able to walk in these shoes. And 90% of people couldn't. Not the way that I did. Single dad, no benefits, no government assistance, no subsidized housing. Like, and I worked hard. Like, that was a strength. That was a strength unknown that I didn't even know I had. When I got custody of my son, I was on Section 8 because I was weak. I had a mind that told me that like this is what I had to do based off of this, how I grew up to get the things that I even similarly want, like the smallest things or the version of the things that I want. So, um, so yeah, I fought and I graded. My, I learned, I learned a lot. Um, and the gym kind of was the start of it. You know what I mean? I mean, not as far as like I was already a single dad before that. I had already gave up the benefits, but the gym started the understanding of the other strengths. Because I was always people used to tell me I'm strong at work. I'm working strong like a motherfucker, I got endurance and strength. Yeah, I can go when it comes to working and shit. But when it came to at the gym, I seen a whole different level of work. I saw like people push themselves to the brink of breaking. Like I worked hard before I was in the gym. When I did it, I gave it my all. What I, or what I thought was my all, what I assumed was enough to say the all because people praised me. That was enough for me at the time. But now that I know that them opinions are only based off of the things that they can do, I have to be my own judge. I have to be my own fan. I have to be my own supporter. You know, so it taught me like stop looking at the next person's reps, trying to figure out where you stand and figure out where you want to stand and go from there. Figure out where you want to be, what you want to do, how you want to do it, and go from there. You know, it just it's just easier that way. You know what I'm saying? And it's easier said than done too. Uh, a lot easier said than done. But I want people to realize that the greatest things in life are on the other side of fear. The things we have to work the hardest for. Imagine if things weren't hard to get, why the fuck would they be worth getting? Like, you know what I'm saying? If it wasn't worth fighting to get or a fight to get to, what would it be like to have it? It would be no appreciation. It's like breathing, right? We know that we should be appreciate the oxygen we have, but we just breathe. We just kind of just do it because it's there. You know what I mean? And it also taught me some spiritual strength, not just uh, in myself, but like from learning from other people, sitting in the sauna, talking to people from different walks of life. Because at the gym, man, you meet people from everywhere, the hood, people that make millions of dollars, you know what I mean? People who are on the rise, shit, on the fall, on the recovery, on a breakup, divorce, uh, uh, going through sicknesses. Man, I was working out with this guy, or not working out with him. He come to the gym, we would talk all the time. After months of me talking to him, kind of find out the man had cancer. Fucking cancer. And he never bitched or nothing about it, bro. That never ever complained and said like, oh, it was hard, you know, I gotta go through this or that. Never. That's a strength in itself, man. Like to be that sound with like what's going on, like it's beautiful. You know what I mean? It's beautiful because you're at peace, and that strength is easier to kind of pull from within when you believe in what's to come from it. You know what I mean? And then like power versus endurance. Power versus endurance. Like I go to hitting the weights. I bench press. I hit curls. I'm up there doing squats. Then I got a brother, Joe. He do yoga. And that shit hard as hell. Like it's like legit. Like hard. Like sweating. Like why is my arm burning like this? I can do 90 push-ups in one set. Like why is my back hurting like this? I can deadlift 400 pounds. Like why is it why is this so hard? Because strength is not linear. There's channels to it. It's like the multiverse. You understand? Like when it comes to strength, there's so many levels of it. I could imagine giving birth. I couldn't imagine it. I couldn't imagine it. Just hearing how I grew up around women, hearing how they experienced it. It wasn't like a horror film, but the pain in described, and then going through the experience with my baby moms, I respect you women and the strength y'all have so much. Seriously. Because like, yeah, that's a strength in itself, man. Uh People who've ever experienced a toothache. Like, I think don't, you know what I'm saying, take this the wrong way, but I think if you get a toothache, somebody fuck with you, and you murder them because your state of mind is in extreme frustration from pain, you should be able to write it off as insanity. Anybody who's ever had a bad toothache, feel me. I don't care how big of a man you are, how many weight you live, that motherfucker toothache will sit you down. And I mean sit you the fuck down. How you questioning religions. You praying to every guy like it's a motherfucking auction. Like, save me, please help me, please save me. Whoever saved me first, I'm with you for life. Allah, Allah, Jesus, who, Buddha, whoever. Come on, get this toothache away. Whoever got it, you got me for life. I'm telling you, you will be questioning all type of shit, looking at your partner like, oh, you happy? You just don't sit here happy? I'm in pain. I'm sitting here in pain like a motherfucker. Tears coming out my eye. You gonna sit there on the phone laughing at Facebook? Fuck Facebook. Fuck all that shit. Bitch. You don't give a fuck about me. You don't care about how I feel for real. Like, it will change who you are. So, like, when you come to strength, man, it's so much more. Like, think about the niggas in the street. Like, I'm talking about throwing hands and straps. But ask that motherfucker to babysit his kids. Ask that nigga to come sit with his mom and take care of her because she's sick. Those things would seem astronomically out of the pocket, like, oh, shit, I can't do all that. But you can shoot a nigga. You can get out here and bang with all the niggas in the street. See? So while y'all all hollering strength and nigga look at me, I'm about that life. Think about what part of that life you really contributing to. You know what I mean? Think about how the contributions affect the people around you. You know what I mean? And is it really worth it? Are you doing it for clout? You want to holler so other people can have respect for you? You know what I mean? Man, I used to be wild. It took me it took a lot of strength to become the man I am today. Because it's easier to fill in the gaps that they provide for us. It's easier to kind of just do what everybody else is doing. It's easier to give up. It's easier to kind of ignore. It's hard to dig deep and fight over the hump. It's hard to death to defeat the biggest enemy you have, and that's yourself. It's hard as hell to look at yourself and say, damn, I need to change a lot. And that's where that's where I was a few years ago. Like, it wasn't no little like, oh, if I change this, maybe this. It was a whole mental like outlook. They say if you can't change if you can't change the way the world views you, change how you view the world. And I did. I started thinking of things in their perspective, like, you do the things you do because of the things you went through. I do the things I do because of the things I went through. I cannot say that my life was harder, more destructive than yours, and you can't say that either about mine. You don't know what I went through, I don't know what you went through or how you went through it. Because having a mom on drugs ain't the same as another person having a mom on drugs. Like, I knew people who had parents on drugs, and mine didn't drink or did drugs like that, but she gambled. And people don't know the dynamics of how effective, how destructive a gambling habit can be. So in a lot of people's eyes, like, oh, you didn't really go through a struggle like that. But I did. Like, it was a lot. I had to pay a lot of bills as a kid because of how money was spent or used. And from that moment on, I learned what strength of a household was, sacrifice. You know what I mean? What are you willing to sacrifice for the people you love, for your happiness? What are you willing to give up, or who are you willing to give up to be the best version you are, to get rid of them toxic relationships? Because a lot of times we can't quite judge like the toxicity of a relationship because of the loyalty we have for it. So we have to be strong enough to tell ourselves, like, I have to let this person go. I have to go out and be who I need to be. And that person either going to respect it and still be there for me and love me, or we're just going to go our separate ways. But in the end of the day, I have to be strong enough to be happy for me. Because I believe you do not allow other people's opinion to dictate your decisions. The only question you should ask yourself is, does this make me happy for me? That's it. Does this make me happy for me? Because in the end of the day, you have to make you happy. And remember that. I always remember that. Always ask yourself that question. Is this making me happy for me? And keep pushing. Keep learning. Keep digging, man. Keep digging. Find the deeper parts of why you are you. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. And this is the Alone Network. Hoggy! I'll holler at y'all again.